Local Bozo is proud to have with us as our guest at this time, drummer from the band Seether, John Humphrey. John, thanks for some time today, man. How we doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. Let's start with the here and now. Seether joining Papa Roach on a co-headlining U.S. tour, kicks off tonight, goes into early February. Let's talk first about how these two bands decided to team up for this run.
I think finally our schedule sort of allowed this to happen. I know Jacoby called me personally about 2.5, maybe 3 months ago, before our management and the powers that be sort of got together, suggesting this idea, which I kind of passed along to Sean as well. I think it'd be a great matchup. Always thought it would. We have done, many festivals together. We've been friends with them a long time. We've done a lot of shows together. And then finally word came down that, our schedules were aligning right, the stars were in alignment, and this co-headlining, this show, this tour could actually happen. And we're excited to see it come together. And tonight will be the first show, and looking forward to the rest of the tour.
It seems like it's every year that Seether makes a stop here in New York City. Fortunately, the day is near with the show at Terminal 5 on Tuesday, January 20th. What are some of your memories about playing here in New York City?
Man, I have a lot of great ones. Always enjoy the shows. Jones Beach, when we did those sort of outdoor outdoor amphitheater sort of shows. I played with the band actually prior to Seether in the '90s, and also with Seether, I played Madison Square Garden. What I was about to say, I was with a band in the '90s called the Nixons. We played with Kiss on the reunion tour, but of course, Seether's played with Audio Slave and Nickelback, and we played Madison Square Garden, and that's like obviously a very historic venue, and to be able to play there, play New York City, and do those shows are some memories, and definitely at the top of the list of memories of of being in the business, doing this, and playing New York City.
There tends to be a lot of clashing of the egos on a co-headlining tour. How are the bands deciding who closes the show, and does the Seether set list change at all accordingly?
Yeah, I think it was put to us, maybe we could flip a coin or decide in, which region, who would want to close. But we made it real easy. Papa Roach will be the last band every night, and we will be second to last. It's a co-headline tour. And we're fine with that, man. I think we have a lot of fans of both bands, and I think, for the price of a concert ticket, you're getting a night full of music. We've got Islander and King as openers, and those are some great bands. We've toured before with King. We just love those guys. Great little three-piece band. And starting with the opening bands, man, it'll definitely kick it in the butt for us to want to go out there and take it up a notch. This is a good lineup, and it's sort of a friendly competition, if you will, for all of us to go out there. And if anyone's seen Papa Roach and Jacoby, he puts on one hell of a show. So we're going to go out there and put on our A game. And this group of bands, these guys, is a great inspiration every night.
So last summer, the band released Isolate and Medicate, reached number 4 on the Billboard Top 200 with 6 albums under the band's belt. Your set can play out like a greatest hits of sorts, which I'm sure can be a challenge to put together. But night after night, what song or songs do you as the drummer look most forward to playing?
For us, I guess maybe it would be the newer songs. Obviously, it's tough to put together a set list. We're only playing an hour on this run. And so you put just the singles alone over our career together, and that's well over an hour already. So it's very hard to decide which songs to play. There's a lot of favorites from over the years, and so we tend to try to hit at least every album, starting with Disclaimer up to the present album. And we're actually doing 2 of the singles and then 2 additional sort of cuts from the newer album, which is like fresh for us, and I think it's fun to play. And anybody maybe that hasn't heard the album yet will get to kind of hear those songs in sort of a live setting, which is always cool. But it's tough to pick the songs. Unfortunately, even because of time constraints, we won't even be able to play all our singles from over the years, and that's a pretty good problem to have. So no complaints, but wish for a little more time. But we're gonna put together the best show we can, and I think we'll alternate and change out songs. I don't think the set list will always be the same, and that keeps it also fresh for us as well.
So, John, what does legendary producer Brendan O'Brien bring to the table for the last two albums that maybe the band was missing before, or that brought out the best of Seether during the recording process?
Yeah, he's amazing, man. I mean, a lot of guys use the moniker producer, but he truly is a producer, and now I can call him a friend. You know, obviously Brendan O'Brien is the one, I guess, you know, may have been under a rock the last 20 years and has no idea. This guy's got an amazing track record. Bruce Springsteen, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots. I mean, all the bands that we loved and grew up with, and so the first album, Strings, prior to this latest album, you know, he produced as well, like you mentioned. So it's been two albums with him now. And I remember Sean calling, I think it was Christmas '09, to say, dude, I just went and had lunch with Brendan O'Brien, and he's going to produce, you know, produce us, man, you know, and it's unbelievable. And then obviously to do it again with Isolate and Medicate, he's amazing. He's a musician. He, you know, can talk on our level. We've worked with guys before that, you know, have their amps. They set their drums up in the room, in the same spot every time for that sound, quote unquote. And Brendan, if all those artists I just named, none of them sound alike. He lets the band be the band, do what they do. He just kind of helps us try to maybe realize something we're not seeing, sort of be that outside opinion. But he's a musician, a great musician. He can sit down and pick up and play guitar, piano, even drums. If he wants to show me a suggestion or an idea, I'm totally open to that. And he's just great, man. And awesome producer, and just an honor to have him on our team, you know.
So, as a drummer, the band's had a couple lineup changes of guitar players from time to time before settling down with this three-piece. How important is the chemistry between musicians, especially on stage, say, with the new touring guitar player?
Well, we have Brian Wickman with us, and he has been a longtime friend of ours. He was a guitar tech for many years. He's also the token artist of the band. He did the album cover for the latest album, and he did a lot of the work on Holding on to Strings as well. And he's a very talented guy and a great guy, you know, not only a great guitar player, but just a guy you can get along with. And that's a big part of this, you know. You live in close quarters on a bus that you spend a lot of time on, and you're away from your friends and family, and you're working hard, and a little insanity can set in, and you really have to have a group of guys that, you know, honestly can get along, and Brian fits right in, and that's a big part of it. And he's a personality, rolls with the punches, and he's perfect for this situation, and a great guy to have along, and it's going well. Love Brian.
The band is probably one of modern rock music's last remaining torchbearers for grunge. Granted, Seether always seems to branch out in their own direction. Does that mean anything to the band? I mean, to still be carrying forward that legacy, and does it influence your approach to making music?
Wow. Yeah, you know, obviously those influences are there and have always been there. I do feel in many ways that we are sort of that last, you know, I don't know, like, I guess you could say grunge, but just, you know, rock band, I guess, that carries those influences. I think over the years, though, and with Brendan producing, we sort of helped to realize our own sound as well. And I don't know. I think we have a unique sound in a lot of ways, and I think we're a rock band. You know, a garage rock band, really. You know, we're just fortunate enough to play on some big stages and be able to do this. And this is something I dreamed of doing when I was a kid, and I have to pinch myself sometimes to believe, to realize, you know, that I am doing it, have been doing it for, gosh, now almost going on 12 years. So feel very fortunate and grateful, and you know, love this band. It's our lives, you know.
You know, earlier you mentioned your former life in the Nixons, a relatively big rock act in the mid-1990s. John, you've been around the music business for quite a bit now, and we can all see the changes. But what's been the biggest challenge that you've encountered, say 2014 and 2015, despite being part of an established band?
Gosh, you know, I guess obviously the industry has changed a lot from when I started out. I mean, obviously social media has really come into the forefront, and I think it's great, man. If I was able to shoot a text to Jimmy Page when I was a kid, or say something and that he have him directly respond, that would be pretty cool. I'm not comparing myself at all to Jimmy Page. I'm just saying, I think to be able to communicate directly with an artist in some cases is pretty cool. And we do sort of the Ask Me Anything sessions. I've done that a couple times on Twitter. So that's sort of definitely a new entity, a new thing, and that took a little getting used to. I'm not used to taking photos of everything and commenting or, responding always to people if they ask, or, even the haters. I mean, I have, you have to have tough skin to be in this business, and sometimes it's hard to, when you see the comments or the people that I don't know, seem to maybe just be negative just for the sake of being negative. So that's, sometimes can, I don't know, take its toll, or even sometimes I just have to turn it off. But I think in those ways, the business has really changed over the years. But for me, it's really about playing. It's about getting up on stage. It's about playing my drums, playing this music, being in this band, and thank God that's the essence of it. Always has been since I started out, and that's what it's about for me. It's about getting out there and playing, getting kind of like lost in the music and responding to the crowd, and that's what I live for every day. I mean, it's a great feeling, and again, very fortunate to be able to do that and walk out there tonight and have a good, well, in this case, sold out here in Myrtle Beach, a show to perform to and people that care, and that's awesome.
Well, you're going to find a room full of people that care on Tuesday, January 20th when you arrive here in New York City at Terminal 5. John, you've been so gracious with your time for us today. Is there anything else you'd like to leave for our readers here at localbozo.com?
Man, just, for, I don't know, you're not able to come to the show, I'm sure you'll be able to catch us hopefully in a town near you. We will be on tour for quite a while. I think this, whole 2015 will be a lot of touring. We hope to go overseas, Australia, and hopefully South America as well. So a lot of touring, and we hope to see everybody out there, and looking forward to the show in New York.
Fans, Isolate and Medicate, the 6th studio album from the boys in Seether, is available now wherever you buy your rock music. Make sure to catch Seether as they team up with Papa Roach during their co-headlining run that will most definitely kick your ass at Terminal 5 in New York City on Tuesday, January 20th, and tickets are available now. We've been talking with Seether drummer John Humphrey. John, looking forward to the band's New York City return, my friend. Thanks so much.
Thank you.